I'm here with David McKay, who's the Director of Asset Management and Operations, the equivalent of Chief Operator position for SSE in the north of the UK. One of the most exciting places in the UK these days, with the enormous expansion of wind power and other renewables for the decarbonization push in the UK. Welcome to the 2023 ITOMS conference here in Brussels. So David, we've had an interesting couple of days here, highlighted by many very interesting presentations, including yours, on the electrification and the expansion of the transmission business in Scotland. What can you tell us about the reaction you've had to the presentation here in Brussels, to your session the other day?
Yeah, I'm actually quite amazed, to be honest, at how much reaction I've had. The topic was very much on HVDC, and what's really interesting is many of the other participants are also grappling with what to do with HVDC. They're all trying to decarbonise their networks. Clearly climate change and net zero goals and targets are there for every company, I think, around the world that are participating here. So really, on HVDC, we're very much, I think, at the lead, the cutting edge of what's being done. We're looking at multi-terminal. We're working with some of the OEMs on potentially future HVDC circuit breakers, and that absolutely has stoked a lot of interest. So I'm actually amazed at the interest, but also really pleased about it as well.
It's a key tenet of the ITOMS program that a rising tide floats all boats, and to the extent that change is coming in perhaps a scale that we haven't seen in maybe 100 years in the utility industry, the need for innovative solutions has never been greater. And the fact that we have leading companies like SSE coming to the program and sharing what they've learned, and as you say, stoking innovation and interest from across the world, is an enormous success factor for the ITOMS program. But speaking from the perspective of SSE as a leader, a thought leader in the forum, what can you tell us about the core values of SSE in sharing and accelerating learning among your peers across the world?
I guess we're really open to helping out wherever we can. We always call our hidden gems is our HVDC centre, and we already really work with many other transmission owners, with academia, and with some of the OEMs on actually what learning can we get, how do we improve what we do. So on the HVDC, first of all, there's already a huge amount of work in that area, and we're really keen for other people to participate. And actually, many other people have asked today, can they make contact with our centre? Beyond that, I think one of the key things for me from ITOMS actually is how much collaboration and discussion we have around issues that we all face. Now, I think there's something we can do a bit more on that to expand that, but I think that the key building blocks already exist where we communicate regularly about issues that affect us all. So I think the learning is there, not just from SSE, but I think from all the rest of the group that participate.
Well, it's a very interactive program. It's self-led by the peer members through a steering committee. Have you provided input to the steering committee this year for some of the enhancements and the evolution of the program going forward? Improvements you'd like to see?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think over the last maybe couple of years we've been in contact on and off with different people about things, and I think that I mean, away from this chat now, you've already discussed about more collaboration. I think that'd be really good. So I know in the background there are things like wildfire discussions going on. There's lots of stuff going on about even about non-technical things, you know, about different issues we face in our regulatory climates as well. So I think the expansion of that is something we should all think about. And I think the more that we talk to each other, the more we realise we're all facing the same issues, And what we shouldn't do is all start from scratch. We're all at different times on our journeys, but essentially we're kind of all doing the same things differently. So there's already a lot of learning there. And what we need to do is actually building that learning and not try and reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation before the break with EnergyNet, and the question of how most effectively to introduce new technology into this kind of a dialogue and an interactive platform came up. And I really like the idea that emerged, which is the creation of technology leaderboards that map the different dimensions of technology evolution required in an area, and then map the vendor solutions onto that and the experience of the peer group. So we'll be working on that. And offline, I'd be very interested in your ideas for how else we can continue to improve the program.
No problem.
So thank you very much for agreeing to talk and for being here and sharing so openly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.